Good morning, everyone. I'm Lebosi Saropiagwara from the Movement for the Sawadagoni People in Nigeria. With permission from the Executive Director of ASRONet and all the participants here, I just want all of us to stand up to observe a moment of silence for those who have died in this struggle, from those struggling against dam construction in Brazil to those struggling against oil construction, exploitation in Nigeria. Several have lost their life in this cause for corporate accountability. May their gentle souls rest in peace. My brothers, my sisters, and my friends, I bring you greetings from Ogoni land. I'm happy to be here today because as a long-standing member of this network, I was here in Thailand in 2003 when this network was launched. It was launched with so much fanfare. It was launched with the belief that as a collective, they'll have the power to transform our world. And I must say that I've seen the bonds between members grow over time, and I've also witnessed the goals of the network being achieved, even though incrementally. And I've seen that in one of what I may call one of the biggest achievement of this network, the adoption of and coming into force of the optional protocol on economic and social-cultural rights. That has been one of the serious evidence that our collective action and the collective work that we do can lead to this sort of development in the world. That coming together as a group 10 years ago and looking back where we are today, I think we can say, we can clap for ourselves that though the road has been rough, though the journey has been tough, but I think we're moving ahead because the forces that we contend with are quite powerful, are quite strong, but I don't think that we need to deter. I think the incremental benefits, the little successes that we're recording is enough to move us forward in the course of the struggle. And in this kind of unity and member-led advocacy that we've championed in the course of struggling for the adoption of the optional protocol, we also want to see in the coming days. For all of us who are in this work, we know that the biggest challenge that we face at the moment is the challenge that there is no international binding regulation for activities of businesses. And that is one challenge that I think that the Corporate Accountability Working Group has decided to take on this year. Beginning at the start of this year, I think the Corporate Accountability Working Group began to develop a global call on a binding regulation for calling for a binding regulation and remedy on corporate accountability. And I think that call is a call that all of us need to put in more energy, to put in all our support, because if we all come together the way we did with the optional protocol, I think that no matter the strength of the forces that we contend with, I still believe strongly that with our collective effort, with our collective power, with our coming together, with the passion that we exhibited in the last 10 years, to moving ahead in this next decade, I think that we can get that objective realized. I think that we can get the objective of getting an international binding regulation for companies and for businesses realized in this decade. And if you believe with that with us, I think we need to start the work immediately at this meeting to set the agenda for how we're going to move forward and carry on that struggle. MOSOP has, over the years, benefited strongly from this network And what we've achieved in Mossop in the last few years has come to make us believe in the power of building international alliances for the struggle that we are all facing in our daily lives in our different communities and in our different countries. Mossop, right from the onset of this network, had benefited in several ways through joint action, through urgent action alerts, and through global calls. And I must also inform you that in the coming days and months from now, we shall be falling back on the network to also support us in some of the actions that we've lined out to do in our country, in Nigeria, especially when the last speaker spoke. She spoke of a war going on because of the activities of businesses. In Nigeria, because of the struggle that all of us supported us to do in Ogoni, we got to a point in 1998 when the UN Commission on Human Rights requested the Nigerian government to do a study on the Ogoni environment, because we have alleged that activities of the oil multinational corporation have destroyed and devastated our environment. And the UN Commission at that point had to call on the Nigerian government to do that study. It took us another 8 years of campaign. It took us another 8 years of building alliances internationally. And of course, in 2007, with the collective action generated by ESRONet, the Nigerian government was forced to invite the United Nations Environment Program to do a study on the Ogoni environment. Today, we have a study that has been done by UNEP, which of course has validated the claims of the Ogoni people that our environment was destroyed beyond repair, because it got to a point where even in the study, a conservative report as that could inform us that the level of benzene concentration of Ogoni water was 900 times more than the World Health Standard and 1,000 times more than even the Nigerian standard. And the report went further to say that over 48 locations where they did their study, they found hydrocarbon concentrated in water far more than the drinking, what is allowed in drinking water. So that already points to the fact that we have an environmental crisis in our hand in Ogoni land, but we've not seen the sort of commitment and urgency on the part of the government to respond to this. And that is why I think I also need to seize the opportunity to inform you all that in the coming months we shall be falling back on you once again, just as we've been doing in the past, to help us, to join us in our campaign for the Nigerian government to do what is appropriate. The UNEP report has made recommendations on what the government needs to do to clean up the Ogoni environment. They have put between 25 to 30 years to do a thorough cleanup. But 2-3 years after the report, we are yet to see any serious movement in that direction. And as I said, we're coming back to you in the coming days and months. The journey is long, as I said, but I don't think that attaining our goal is difficult. I still believe firmly in the power of our collective action. I still believe firmly that coming together as a group and as a people, that we can change our world. And that is the message I leave with you this morning. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Olivier Deschooter. I'm the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to food, and I would like first of all to thank the organizers of this People's Forum on Human Rights and Business in Bangkok to give me this opportunity to address you by this message. The Corporate Accountability Working Group of ESCRNet